So we have been following the murder trial of a former Colorado dentist named James Craig, who in 2023 allegedly murdered Angela Craig, his wife, and the mother of his 6 kids. Prosecutors say Craig poisoned Angela's protein shakes, poisoned the protein shakes with arsenic, cyanide, and a chemical found in eye drops. And when none of that proved fatal, he allegedly forced her to swallow a cyanide capsule as she lay half dead in the hospital. Police say Craig tried to convince people Angela was suicidal, and we're now learning just how far he allegedly went to prove it. The Craig's second oldest daughter, who's now 20 and whose name is not being released, took the stand this week and said her father asked her to make a deep fake video of her mother to make it look like her mom was asking for the very poisons that killed her. The daughter testified that James Craig gave her detailed instructions for buying a cheap laptop with a prepaid debit card and finding the video on the dark web. She did not comply. The woman's older sister testified as well, saying their father told her that he didn't want an autopsy done because he didn't want investigators to, quote, satisfy their curiosities. Very strange and disturbing. Joining me now is defense attorney Eric Faddis, who has been in court all week and heard all of this testimony firsthand. Eric, thank you for joining us tonight. First of all, can you tell us more about this deep fake that the daughter was speaking about, and what was her reaction when she testified?
Yeah, Brent. So apparently, according to the prosecution, James Craig sent a letter to his daughter directing her to create this deepfake to sort of show how the wife was suicidal to support his defense after he had been arrested. He did this from jail. And so the daughters, multiple daughters, got on the stand and testified about that. Also about the fact, like you mentioned, that James Craig requested that an autopsy not be done, which of course is suspicious. All of these factors are sort of piling up against James Craig throughout this trial.
So the oldest daughter testified that he said he didn't want the autopsy to satisfy their curiosities, whatever that means. But they did in fact do an autopsy. What did the autopsy show?
So the autopsy, I think, Brian, is damning. So it shows that Angela Craig died of cyanide poisoning, but also that she had arsenic in her system, as well as a chemical that is found in eye drops. And on top of that, today, a detective got on the stand and showed how there was an Amazon purchase for arsenic around the time that Angela Craig would have ingested that unknowingly. And it was from an Amazon account that is linked to an email address for James Craig, a credit card for James Craig, and an address for James Craig.
Oh, this is just awful. In this picture of her, it looked like in a hospital bed. The details are terrible. I mean, what could the defense be, Eric? I mean, all of the evidence seems so damning. What has his defense said?
So far, they haven't come right out and said it. They've sort of hinted at it, kind of insinuated that maybe Angela Craig was suicidal at the time. I've heard reports that they might try to introduce evidence of some alleged prior opioid overdose. Angela Craig was struggling with some issues at times, as every human being does. And so I think that's the direction the defense is going to go. They're going to try to tie it together during their closing argument, but will the jury buy it? That question is still open.
And so there was also, I mean, this guy was obviously a dentist. There was another dentist, apparently, was it from the same office, who testified. What did she have to say?
Yeah, so that was Dr. Ryan Redford. He testified today, and there were some dramatic moments. So he went to the hospital where Angela Craig was. On the way, he got a call from the office manager saying that there was a package of cyanide at the office. And then Angela Craig passes away. He gets a call from James Craig after that, where he challenges James Craig, and he says, hey, what in the world do you need arsenic for? And James Craig first says that package wasn't arsenic, it was a ring for Angela. Redford says, no, we know it's arsenic. And then James Craig says, what have you done? What have you done to Dr. Redford? Because he knew Dr. Redford had relayed that information to nurses. Lastly, the next day, James Craig texts Dr. Redford begging him not to go to the police and to tell employees also not to go to the police.
Wow, this is twisted, Eric. I mean, this is going to be an interesting one for us to follow. Eric Faddis, really appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good weekend.
I'll be with you.